Welcome to another edition of Streamertopia. My name is Eric, aka Papa Norse, and joining me as always is Adam, aka Captain Heater. Adam, who do we have joining us today?
Thank you, Eric. Today we have ZooKeeperChris. It's a lot of fun on this interview. This first part is going to talk a lot about him being a zookeeper, if you don't know that he does it in real life. But we're going to talk about that and just a lot of random things. And then we're going to end the interview, the first part of the interview, because this is part 1 of 2, with a special guest and play our Ninja Pirate game. Back over to you, Eric.
All right, great. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and let's get started. Welcome to Streamertopia. We wanted to welcome in ZooKeeperChris into the show. And, we're going to jump right into this. As always, you're joined by myself, Papa Norse, and we've also got Captain Heater. So, Adam, go ahead and take it away.
Hey, Zookeeper. Hey, man, thanks for joining us, man. Really appreciate you coming on and, just lay back, have some fun. So we always start off every interview this way. I think that this might be the easiest one for us to figure out, but your gaming name, has that always been your gaming name, or how'd you come up with it? Or, or is it as obvious as I'm thinking?
I mean, how I came up with it is as obvious as you're thinking, but hasn't always been like my gamer name. It was actually only my name when I started streaming on Twitch. That was the first time I ever used this name. Before then, I used quite a few other names.
Animal related, or?
No, surprisingly not. Yeah, they were very random. Like, I remember my very first username on the internet was for I think it was AOL Instant Messenger, which was so popular back when I was in middle school. And it was like the dumbest name ever. I think it was Simple Boy 67, which was actually named after Simple Plan, which was like one of my favorite bands growing up, funny enough. Gotcha. And I kept that. That's like, your quintessential embarrassing username when you're a kid. And then I kind of evolved into Adrenaline something. And my gamer tags have never had animals in them, surprisingly enough, because I've loved animals my whole life. I just never thought to tie that in. But yeah, I became ZooKeeperChris when I first started streaming. I put in a lot of thought into what name I wanted to use for streaming, because I was thinking about a brand, and I didn't want to tie my name to a particular game or an activity, so to speak. I really wanted a name that people could personally connect with. So I really like the idea of just putting Zookeeper in, because right off the bat, people know about me. They know what I do. And obviously Chris there as well, because it makes more of like a personal connection, and people can just call me Chris. I don't have like an internet name, so to speak, to where if I'm walking through a store or at my zoo and somebody sees me, they don't just shout, Simple Boy, hey, and I'm just like, they can just shout ZooKeeperChris or Chris, and I'll turn around, So yeah, I just wanted a name that could kind of branch across multiple platforms and games, and something that people could really connect with.
Smart. It's easy to brand. Yeah, it's good.
It'll be funny the first time somebody calls you ZooKeeperChris, because people are gonna be like, why are they so formal with this guy?
Right? Yeah. So why did you start streaming, and do you have some favorite aspects of streaming that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah. So I started streaming, honestly. So my friend's going to love hearing this. My friend, he built a PC, and I wanted to build one as well, because I wanted to get into PC gaming. Beforehand, I was just completely console player. I grew up playing consoles my whole life, and eventually I got into PC gaming, and he was building a PC, and I was like looking at him for advice, and I basically copied his entire build, and then I one-upped him, because we're very competitive by nature, me and my close group of friends. And so he got, like, I don't know, a certain CPU or something, and I got the one right above it just because I had to beat him at that. Yeah,
right, of course.
And once we got the PCs built, he actually did some streaming from his console, just like random, one-offs where you can log into Twitch on your PlayStation or Xbox and just hit stream and just kind of stream for fun, no camera, nothing. And I watched him do that and I was like, that seems like kind of fun. And I had the setup for it. And so I kind of just had everything I needed. And I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm pretty entertaining. I make my friends laugh. So maybe I can make some random people on the internet laugh, and kind of just dove into it from that point on. And that's kind of how it started. And I also really just wanted to connect with people. That's probably like my favorite part about streaming is my ability to share my passion for games and animals. I always like to say that my community and my channel is a place where I connect my passions for gaming and animals, and most people in my community also love both things as well. Different games, but kind of animals ties us all together. We're a huge group of animal loving people, and I love connecting with other animal lovers, hearing about animals that they have at home, animals that they've worked with. I've actually connected with quite a few zookeepers through Twitch, which is pretty amazing. And obviously the directory I stream in right now, Planet Zoo, makes that a lot easier to find other zookeepers. So it's cool just talking to other people, hearing their experiences, and talking to other people all around the world. I've talked to people from Australia, Norway, just everywhere and anywhere. It's such a cool experience. And that's what I love. I love the connections that you can make through Twitch for sure.
Yeah. Did you, was Planet Zoo the first game you streamed?
No. The first game I streamed was a little game called Bloodborne. Have you heard of it?
No.
No? Bloodborne?
Now I'm going to research the heck out of it.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay, but you've heard of Soulsborne games or like Souls games?
Yeah.
So when they say Soulsborne, the born part is Bloodborne. And then the Souls part is the Dark Souls series. And, basically it's a game series that is known for being crazy difficult and pretty long-winded. And there's a lot to it. And my first game I streamed was Bloodborne, per my friend's recommendation, because people love watching new players go through that experience and just die hundreds of times. I died in that game hundreds of times. I had a kill counter or a death counter above me. And I would log into stream some days and literally spend 3 or 4 hours fighting one boss, and people loved watching that. So yeah, that was my first game. Yeah.
That's cool.
So we know what your full-time job is, right? So when you're trying to plan out a stream, or do you plan out for a stream, would be my first question. How do you interact with, finding time to do the stream? And also you have this amazing I'm not going to say amazing full-time job. I'll let you go into that in a second. But how do you plan for your streams?
So different weeks and different events obviously require different amounts of time. For example, when Planet Zoo just recently, it was like a month ago, they came out with their most recent DLC pack, the aquatic pack. That week took a good deal of planning for me, because I was able to get early access to the DLC. So I was making content on YouTube for that ahead of time. I was trying to plan ahead for what I would do the day of the stream. So that took multiple days of planning, especially if you consider me making the YouTube content ahead of time kind of part of the planning. It took a good bit. Other days, it's a little less planning. For example, like tomorrow, I know there's an event going on for Planet Zoo. Every couple of weeks, they do a community event where it's like a challenge within the game, and everybody in the community takes part and tries to take part in this challenge. And this week it's breeding hippos. So I know tomorrow I'm going to try and breed hippos. So that's a little less planning, but it just really depends on what's going on that week. Events usually take a day or two, depending on the event. But if it's like a DLC, like I said, that can take several days of planning and whatnot. So yeah.
And so does Frontier have like official content creators, like tags?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So you can apply on their website I think you can apply on their website somewhere to gain access to be like included in their content creator emails and stuff. They also have a group of featured content creators that they have on their website. I'm not on that yet. Maybe one day, huh? Planet Z, Frontier, you listening? But yeah, I'm not in that one yet. But I am part of, like, I do get their emails, and I don't know if anybody can do that. I feel like anybody can sign up for their content creator emails, where they'll send out emails about what's going on in their games and whatnot. So yeah, it's just a matter of signing up for that, and also just networking. The Frontier community management, they're on Twitter, they're on the forums. So it's really easy to just reach out and talk to any one of them if you're interested. They're all very approachable. And I know for like, if it's your first time reaching out to a company like that, it can be pretty intimidating, but they're all super nice, and they were so welcoming and just kind about everything in the whole process. Cause that was my first time really reaching out to a company and working with a company has been with Frontier. I've never really done anything like that before. Right. My first game I streamed, like I said, was Bloodborne, and in between Bloodborne and Planet Zoo, I played some other random games. I always tell people, like, my first year of streaming was just an experiment. It was really just an experiment where I was just trying different things. I knew that's not where I was going to settle.
Right.
But when Planet Zoo came out, I knew that was going to be my home. That was where I was going to, put my roots down and really make a community. And so within that, that's where I really started reaching out with the community management. And yeah, they've been really awesome and welcoming for sure.
Very cool. That's cool.
How long have you been streaming?
I was thinking the same exact thing, Eric.
I think it's been 2 years, just over 2 years. We just had a couple recent resubs that are up there, I think at the 23-month mark.
Nice.
Some of those who have been subbing since like the first day or two that my sub badge was available. So yeah, it's been about 2 years, but the first year was definitely experimental. I started off in Bloodborne, and then I went right into a very different game. I went into Kingdom Hearts, and I played through that whole series. And
it's a good game, actually.
Yeah, it's a great game. Very hard for people to watch Bloodborne and then go watch Kingdom Hearts. So very different community.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just a tad.
Yeah,
that's a fun game though. Yeah, it's cool. So what do you do? What are some of your hobbies outside of streaming?
Well, I play games. Too many games.
Yeah.
I am a gamer, and if I'm not streaming, I'm not working. Well, I guess this is all going to change soon, and we'll probably get into that far as how a lot of things for me are changing soon in the next couple of months. But
a little bit.
Yeah, I play a lot of games. Like, and it's sometimes I have just so many games that I haven't gotten to yet, and I would love to get to. I guess outside of gaming, I love just hanging out with my family, my wife, my dogs. But yeah, probably most like a lot of other people here that just love gaming, love hanging out at home. I don't go outside a super ton, and some of that has to do with my job. Being a zookeeper, I'm outside all the time. I'm outside 40 hours a week. So on my weekend, I just want to stay inside where it's air conditioned and I can relax.
Yeah. Yes. Are you playing in any games majorly outside of like when you're not streaming right now?
Oh, my current obsession is Terraria. I know I'm like 10 years late to the party, but I've just started
that, man.
I've just started, I don't know, falling in love with that game. And I used to be very against 2D games. I don't know, they just weren't my style. And recently I've been trying, I don't know, expanding my horizons, I guess, and trying different styles of games. And Terraria is my current obsession. There's just so much you can do in that game, so much progression and whatnot. So that's usually my go-to game right now. Other than that, I do have the guilty pleasure currently of playing League of Legends, which I know is not everybody's cup of tea. It can be a pretty toxic place, but I am a person that can have fun playing that game, whether I am doing really well or if I'm doing really poorly and just completely losing. I can still have fun, which I think is really important. And I'm currently doing the League of Legends grind. They just recently, like a couple days ago, had their like competitive league start up for the season. So I've been working my way into that right now too.
In the 2D games, I think maybe what you're talking about also is there's a really, not to say famous, but like Stardew Valley, I think is what the name is. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, so I played Stardew Valley for a bit, but I kind of ruined that game for myself. I I'll just bow my head in shame in the corner. I cheated in that game.
It's cheated in the video game.
Yeah, well, the thing is, so I'm against cheating in like multiplayer games, competitive games, 100%. But like doing an exploit or something like that in a single player experience, I think is completely up to the player. You know, I'm totally on board with you create your own experience, and if you're not affecting anybody else, and it shouldn't, you know, it should be fine in my opinion. But yeah, Stardew, they had a thing in the game that you could, it was like an exploit thing where I think you can get just like as much money as you wanted or something, and it was just way too simple to do, and I couldn't resist it, so I did it.
I'm the same way, man. I can't
resist it. It was just there in my face, and it was stupid easy to do, and that may be patched now for all I know. I know they just had a huge update, but yeah, I kind of, after I did that, I played a bit, and I don't know, just kind of, I regrettably kind of killed my Stardew experience. I might go back to it one day, but yeah, that's my Stardew story for you.
That's all right. Well, chat says that you're like quite the artist, and I'm looking at all your pieces in the background. Those are really good pieces of work that you did, right?
That is not what I did. I actually, do you want to see some of my artwork?
Absolutely.
I have it right here.
Of course.
I don't know. I'm just going to grab a handful.
Oh.
And I don't know, like, I'll show you one of my
ornaments.
Yes. So these are Christmas ornaments that I made for the month of December.
Lifelike.
Yeah, you'll see. So yeah, for the month of December, anyone that subbed, and I'm going to do this in the future as well, but pretty much anybody that subbed during that month, I asked them what their favorite animal was, and then I tried to draw it, and I did a terrible job. So I think I have a really bad one.
Dragon.
The Komodo dragon. I don't even know where that one is. I'm trying to find like, oh, this one's pretty bad. Okay. So I've got a pretty good one and a pretty bad one, and I don't know if it's gonna be flipped, but yeah, that was my sloth.
Oh, okay.
Pretty proud of that one.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I got the leaves and everything. And then this one, can you tell what that is?
Yeah, that is not good.
Yeah, that's a lion. I actually had to write on the back. I had to write on the back what it was in case I forgot.
That looks like a voodoo mask to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, to me, you know what? I see a lot of Lion King vibes in here. Like,
sure.
Yeah. So
okay.
I don't know. If you squint your eyes, maybe. But yeah, I've got a lot of these. A lot of these artworks. I honestly don't know what this is. I think that's a reindeer.
Go with a reindeer or moose.
Moose. I did not write on the back of this one a cheat sheet for myself, so who knows? Yeah, but that's my own artwork. It's pretty terrible.
Hey, well, A for effort.
Thank you.
Yes.
What is the only mammal capable of flight? Flying squirrel, bat, ocelot, or hummingbird?
So let's talk a little bit about your real job, your IRL job.
Yes.
So how long you've been a zookeeper, and why did you get into it?
So I've been a zookeeper for about 10 years now.
Wow.
And why did I get into it is because of this guy right here. This is a Pop Funko of Steve Irwin. I grew up watching Steve Irwin on the TV. What was that?
Rip, man. Rest in peace.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was the first celebrity death that just really hit me hard. And I don't know, I've just never felt that way about somebody that I didn't know until he passed away. That just, I don't know, that hurt because he was such an inspiration for me growing up. It was mainly his passion. He could just get so passionate about anything that was in front of him, any animal that he would have in front of him. It could be an ant, and he would just show so much appreciation for that animal. And that really just impacted me and kind of grew my love for animals and wildlife and conservation growing up. And I always knew, after watching him on TV, I always knew I'd work with animals one day in one way or another. And yeah, that's how I got into the field, and I've been here for 10 years now. I guess it's coming up on 11 years now.
Yeah, I'm sure that I'm imagining there's more people like you, but I bet you he would love to hear that. And like his son, Robert, I'm sure that, things like that, he would love to hear. I don't know if you've ever reached out to them or something like that, but I know that you're, part of the, Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've actually met their family.
Oh,
Surprisingly
wow.
enough,
That's
yeah, it was
awesome.
a really short interaction. They came to my zoo, and they were kind of like in passing, and I could not resist. I had to do I know they probably hate it, but they were so nice about it. I approached them and I just asked for a quick photo, and yeah, they took a photo for me, and I just said really quickly, I was just like, your dad like just was such a huge inspiration to me growing up. Thank you guys so much for everything you do. And they were super kind. And I felt bad doing it, but I had to do it. I could not see them and not take that opportunity just to thank them and get a quick photo. And they were super nice about it. So
That's
yeah.
awesome.
That is really neat.
I grew up the same way. I don't know why every time I think of him, I think of the episode where he was with the spitting cobras. I don't know why. That's the one that always comes to my mind. It was just like, well, it's just kind of nuts. Like, but I love Steve Irwin, man. I watched every episode every single week, man. He was great.
Yeah.
But
do you have a Jeff Corwin deal too?
Yeah. So yeah, Jeff Corwin was the other big wildlife conservationist that I grew up watching as well. So Steve Irwin, his passion was just unmatched. Jeff Corwin, he had a way of tying humor in.
Yeah, he's funny
that I
guy.
think made learning and just made it very approachable for the younger audience. And I was younger at the time, obviously. And nowadays I'm older and I look back at the videos and I'm like, that's so goofy. I wouldn't, if I were an adult, I'd probably think that was silly, but he really connected with me back then. And he's still doing things now. And it's cool because now, as he's grown older and I've grown older, he actually makes content more for adults, and it's not quite as goofy, silly. It's more, it's more serious tone and whatnot. And it's just cool that I've grown up and he's grown up obviously as well. And he's now making content that I can still connect with as I'm older as well. So yeah, he was those two for sure. Jeff Corwin and Steve Irwin were my two big inspirations. Yep.
Those are definitely my two. I watched growing up too.
What is the only mammal capable of flight? Flying squirrel, bat, ocelot, or hummingbird? Bats are the only mammals capable of true flight. A bat's wing is constructed very much like the human hand, with extremely elongated fingers and membranes stretched between. Bats can be found almost anywhere in the world except for areas with extreme temperatures such as polar regions and deserts. In fact, there are almost 1,000 species of bats worldwide, ranging in size from less than an inch to almost 6 feet. Many species of bats are considered endangered. How many times can a hummingbird flap its wings per second? 40, 80, 160, or 20?
I'm going to skip ahead a question here, Eric, because we were talking about Steve Irwin. So you got the Wildlife Warrior on your site. Just maybe talk about that a little bit. I mean,
yes. So Wildlife Warriors is the conservation fund that Steve Irwin and Terry Irwin founded. It's a conservation fund that we just recently raised funds for. We kind of did our first trial run of raising funds for a conservation fund. And it was a really cool experience where people were able to tune in and they didn't have to spend a dime. It really took about 5 or 10 minutes of their time, and they would take part in a sponsored stream that I was doing. And it was a thing where they would download a game on their phone or on their computer. They would type in like my referral code, play for about 5 or 10 minutes. And then essentially them doing that would earn me money. And what I did with that sponsored money is I split it in half at the end of the day. I took all of my earnings from that sponsored stream. I split it in half. I donated half that money to the Wildlife Warriors Conservation Fund. And then the other half is just going towards a PC stream upgrade, which I'm super excited about as well. Mm-hmm. But I was so happy with our turnout. We raised almost $500 in total for that conservation fund effort. And the majority of that $500 was raised through the sponsored stream. So it's just really cool. I'm all about finding ways for people to support wildlife and show support and really make a change in the world without spending money. obviously, if you have extra money to spend and you want to contribute and donate, you can do that. But I'm all about showing people that there are alternatives to that. And there's ways that you can help out the environment and help out animals in the wild without spending a dime. And that was such a cool experience. I'm so proud of my community for taking part in that. We had so many people download and play the game and hang out and watch that stream. So it was just such a cool experience. And the Wildlife Warriors Conservation Fund, I could not have thought of a more appropriate conservation fund for me to support for my first trial run on that. And I can't wait to do more things for them in the future, but also for other conservation funds out there as well.
Awesome. Congrats,
Chris, I love that message. I mean, that's so good to do something like that. I mean, we've had a couple of people on that have done like charity streams and things. And, you know, when people do these sort of things, you know, and they're in control of getting to the masses, you know, that is just the right thing to do. And so everybody from the community, we appreciate when you put that time and you put the work in. And but I hear that that's like the new like telethon. You know, I know that there's a lot of companies that are actually looking at streamers now as ways to generate revenue, and I think it's great and it hits the right markets. And so thank you for doing that. I think it's awesome.
Yep, absolutely.
How many times can a hummingbird flap its wings per second? 40, 80, 160, or 20? A hummingbird can flap its wings about 80 times per second, causing an audible humming sound. Due to the unique structure of their wings, hummingbirds can fly left, right, up, down, backwards, or even upside down. They can also hover by flapping their wings in a figure-8 pattern. And their wings aren't the only fast-moving body part. They have a heart rate of approximately 1,260 beats per minute.
We know that you were working with Hoofstock. I mean, that was your thing, but you've had a recent change. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I've been in, like I said earlier, I've been in the field for about 10 or 11 years now. The majority of that time period was working with Hoofstock. I was working with Hoofstock for about 6 years. And for those who don't know what Hoofstock is, because there are many people I don't, it's hoofed animals. So kind of sounds like you'd think. And the ones that I worked with were zebras, giraffes. It was African Hoofstock. So zebras, giraffes, different antelope and gazelle species from Africa. So I was working with them for about 6 years, and I recently switched it up and I went to a different team. And now I work with a lot of Florida native species like the American alligator. I work with the alligator snapping turtle, a bunch of different reptiles, a couple different snake species, a bunch of bird species, some fish as well. So it's an area that has a lot more variety to it than the Hoofstock team that I was on had. Yeah. So
probably nice to have a change
experience.
Too.
What's that?
Probably nice to have a change too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, after being in Hoofstock for 6 years, it was cool. But it was time for me to try something different, especially because in the zoo field, I want to move up into higher positions. So I wanted to get experience working with some other species of animals and take my experience from Hoofstock into a different team. And there are some connections there as well that people might not even realize. For example, Hoofstock are a species of animals that if they have anything wrong with them, they will hide it from you. It's something that's kind of built into them, because in the wild, if they show any sign of weakness, if a zebra is starting to limp or something, a predator will pinpoint that and try and hunt them out of their herd. And same thing happens in zoos where they're just really good at hiding what's wrong with them. And funny enough, that kind of transfers over to bird species. Birds are also notoriously great at hiding what's wrong with them. So it's cool kind of taking my observational skills that I've developed through Hoofstock and also bringing it over to my new team that I'm on right now.
Very cool.
It's really cool.
What's it? Go ahead.
Adam, I should say, Chris, we're gonna get back to some of our questions for you regarding a zookeeper, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna skip ahead to something really quick, just because we have a time restriction. You'll understand here in a second. So, Adam, if you would like to go ahead and introduce what's going on.
Sure. So, ZooKeeperChris.
Yes.
So every episode we like to do a little game with our guests. Did you tell them about the game, Eric, or no?
Nope.
Okay, good. So,
oh no, what is this?
So
it's a setup.
It is, and we love to, and that's usually the reaction we get.
There
we
she
go.
is. We have a
Uh-oh.
guest that's here.
Hello.
Hello.
Bubblies. How are you?
I'm well. I've been waiting on Mr. Yappy.
Oh, God. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
No. Yeah, no. So, Chris, you're no stranger. So I was actually in your chat room today and just watching. Do we call you Bubble or what? The Bubblies? What do we call you?
Bubblies, bubbles.
I
whatever
heard
you
all
want.
sorts of things. Great.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, but we have invited her on to do our Pirate and Ninja show.
Okay.
Have you ever watched one of these?
I don't think I've seen this part.
Oh boy.
I was watching some of your earlier
we told you to
podcasts.
prepare, so everything's we
Yeah,
worked.
let's do it. I'm excited.
You
And
look
also
petrified.
terrified.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
well,
please, thank you for coming on.
yes.
First of all,
Of
appreciate
course.
it.
Yes.
So,
What are you streaming nowadays?
Me.
Yeah.
I'm doing a little bit of Planet Zoo. I played a little bit of Minecraft. I also sometimes need to shoot things, so I'll play Apex and literally everything else in between.
Yeah, I saw you playing Apex the other day. You're good. You're
I'm
good.
really good at dying.
Good at dieting. Yeah, right.
Really good at dying. Crawling
Uh,
on the ground.
but it's fun, right?
It is fun.
Yeah.
Especially when you get some friends together. It's totally fun.
Exactly. Cool.
Do you ever like go through all the stuff on your wall there and show people everything like that?
Who, me?
No, Bubble.
Oh,
No, I haven't.
No, you haven't.
No, but I do have one really cool thing.
Okay.
what is this?
Nice.
Oh, whoa.
That
It's
looks
3D
cool.
printed.
Oh, that is
He's
cool.
actually making another one for me because these kind of look like twos.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
Bubbly 22.
Yeah, they kind of look like twos. So he's making me another one, but it's a gentleman that I know on Etsy.
It looks really cool
So,
though.
Oh,
Yeah, it is super cool. It's pretty hefty. It's pretty sturdy. It's probably my favorite thing right now.
It's got
Very
the Twitch
cool.
colors too.
It is. It's the Twitch font.
Yeah. All right.
So,
Eric,
yeah.
I think that's the idea, man.
Well,
yeah,
it just
that is the idea.
yeah. So just the last interview, I got just a ration of garbage from Adam here. I knew about Etsy, but I called it ETSY. And oh my
Aw.
God, they're like, what do you mean you don't know about Etsy?
Never
I
get
went
it
on.
down.
There's
Ever.
like really cool video game stuff on there, but
Yes.
so
Yes.
anyway, so Chris, Bubbles knows what the rules are, and we've got we're gonna do a minute and a half of
Okay.
this or that. You don't want to think too much about it because there is a time restriction.
Okay.
And so Bubbles, are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Yeah, it's just it's just to get you know you a little bit more, Chris. It's so and but yeah, hopefully you pass. Otherwise, it's the end of the interview.
Yeah,
just
if you
kidding.
don't if
Okay.
you don't answer correctly,
I have a minute and a half per thing, or is it just
No,
whatever
no,
comes to my
no.
mind? Okay.
It's whatever comes to your mind. Don't
All right,
I mean, obviously
I
you
got
have to think about it a little bit, but it's just like
All
boom,
right.
boom, boom.
I'm ready.
So
Okay.
All right.
All right. Whenever
All
you're
right.
ready, we'll go.
all right. Here we go. Number
All right.
1. Amusement park or a day at the beach?
Amusement park.
At a movie, candy or popcorn?
Popcorn.
Pen or pencil?
Pencil.
Cups in the cupboard, right side up or upside down?
Right side up.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Facebook or Twitter?
Twitter.
Hot coffee or iced coffee?
Hot coffee.
Blinds or curtains?
Curtains.
Meat or veggies?
Meat.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Movies at home or movies at the theater?
At home.
Vampires or werewolves?
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
that's a good one.
Werewolves.
Jeff Corwin or Steve Irwin?
Steve Irwin.
Alligator or crocodile?
Gator.
Hoofstock or gators?
Oh my goodness.
We're gonna get that
Gators.
favorite animal out of you.
Yeah, right? Oh, I said gators. Yeah.
Okay, Planet Zoo DLC, the Australia pack or the South American pack?
Australia.
Penguin or puffin?
Puffin.
Yeah. Tortoise or turtle?
Turtle.
Sci-fi or fantasy?
Fantasy.
Tech skills or handyman skills?
Man. Handyman.
10 seconds.
Pet rock or a plant?
Plant.
TV or a book?
Book.
A board game or a card game?
Board game.
Dine-in or delivery?
Delivery.
Stop. Go ahead and do one more. Do one more.
Ninja or pirate?
Yeah.
Pirate.
Yeah. Pirate.
Nice. Good work.
A lot more pirates than ninjas.
Yeah.
I think we've only
Yeah.
had one ninja.
I think we did.
Yeah.
But usually it is pirate.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
picked
nice.
pirate too.
All right, you passed. We'll keep the interview going.
Yay!
Yeah, we'll keep it going. Keep it going.
Thank you.
Awesome.
You didn't sound like coffee. That's not your jam. That doesn't sound like you like coffee at all.
No, I love coffee. It's just I think it's ironic. Like as a Floridian, I feel like I should have said iced coffee, but I drink hot coffee way more than iced coffee. You'd think it'd be iced coffee to like cool off or something, but
I don't like iced coffee.
yeah.
It's a funky taste to me.
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
It has to have a little bit of a sweetener in it.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
I'm the
Sometimes.
same way. I'm
Yeah.
the same way. Yeah.
But hot coffee, just black's totally fine for
There
me
you go.
personally.
There you go.
So
I can't do it, but good for you. I like loads of sugar and cream.
dogs or cats. So now this is the chance. So your dogs are Lucy and Luna, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I have a dog named Lucy as well.
Oh, no way.
Except mine's named after like Lucifer. So she is not a friendly dog.
Mine was given to us with that name, so I don't really have a big story behind that one.
No say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bells, do you have animals?
I do. I have 2 dogs, 2 Jack Russell Terrier mixes.
Holy cow. I'm surprised we don't hear them. Or running around.
They're downstairs right now.
Running around in circles.
They do that.
Right.
They chase each other.
I'm
I
sure.
can tell everybody who wants a Jack Russell, get 2. Trust me, just get 2.
Oh, really?
They play together.
They play
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Okay.
So Bubbles, we wanted to give you the opportunity just to, talk if you had anything that you wanted to tell Chris, anything like that. The floor is yours.
I just want to thank him for the awesome content and the absolutely amazing community that he has built. It has been a blast being in his streams every day, and I get so irritated when I'm trying to tell him where something is, but there's a delay, and he's like, my left or your left? Wait, what? Rock 3 or rock 4?
Yep.
This is why you name plants now, right? You named a plant the other day. What was it?
Did I?
No, I'm sorry. Chris did. And
I think I named a rock after somebody or something like that. Just
very nice.
It's funny that the game lets you do that.
Yes.
Yeah. So now you can identify the rocks by names.
Yes.
Exactly.
The Dan rock. There we go.
Yes.
So Bubblies, how do people watch you? I should.
They go on Twitch, and it's Bubblies on Twitch, or I think it's at Velvet Shock 7 on Twitter. I really need to fix that.
Oh.
Bubblies was taken. But yeah, that's you can find when I go live on Twitter, and or you can join my Discord. Just hop into my channel, and there'll be a link in there.
Great, fantastic. So I wanted to thank you from Adam and I. I know that
Yes, thank you
coming
very
out
much.
of the blue sometimes, like some stranger on Discord, it's like that.
I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry. Hopefully, I didn't give you any bad vibes there. But yeah, so we're good. We really.
He has that tendency.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like some-
I thought he was trying to steal my social security number and all that fun stuff. Sorry.
I was so close. So close.
My mom's maiden name.
Oh.
All right.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you, Bubblies. I appreciate it, and
Thank
we'll
you.
catch you up in your next stream. You're
Yes.
a fantastic streamer, and keep it going.
Thank you. It was great.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right.